Welcome students! In this topic, you are going to learn to perform and check lap joint on mild steel plate 10 mm thick in flat position by Gas Metal Arc Welding GMAW. Objectives: at the end of this exercise, you shall be able to prepare plates to size 150 mm length, 50 mm width and 10 mm thickness. Set the lap joints in flat position and tack weld. Weld using Gas Metal Arc Welding GMAW process. Inspect for surface defects on the weld and bead appearance. Now, let us look at the tools required for welding lap joint on MS plate 10 mm thick in flat position by GMAW Gas Metal Arc Welding. Steel rule, ball peen hammer, half round file, tri-square, tongs, chipping hammer, steel wire brush, personal safety equipment, key or spanner, helmet type screen, angle grinder, gas regulator with flow meter, CO2 gas heater, shielding gas hoses, welding power source, wire feeders that ensure constant speed and voltage, supply of electrode wire, welding gun, shielding gas cylinder, CO2. Now, let us look at the pre-welding preparations for lap joint on MS plate 10 mm thick in flat position by GMAW Gas Metal Arc Welding. Wear protective clothing. Use plain goggles while grinding and welding goggles while gas cutting. Cut the plates by gas cutting to size 150 mm length, 50 mm width and 10 mm thickness. Deburr the edges using grinding. Check the squareness of the plates. Clean the surface of the plates by carbon steel wire brush. Set the plates as lap joint. Set the GMAW machine with torch. Use 0.8 mm dia mild steel filler wire. Set 90 to 100 amps current, corresponding wire feed rate and set 90 to 20 arc voltage. Tack weld with minimum 10 mm length on both ends of the lap joint. Clean the tack weld. Since the CO2 welding process does not have the ability to remove many impurities, it is very important to clean the mill scale, rust, paint, oil or grease from the plate surface. Now, let us look at the welding process of lap joint on MS plate 10 mm thick in flat position by GMAW Gas Metal Arc Welding. Keep the tack welded job in the channel at 45 degree from the horizontal plane so that the welding can be done in a flat position. The gun is held perpendicular to the joint and an angle of 5 to 15 degrees forward to the direction of travel. Weld the root run of the lap joint using 0.8 mm dia mild steel filler wire. Use stringer bead welding technique. Clean the bead. Deposit second run using weaved bead technique, covering root run. The weaving motion to the torch is crescent motion. The torch movement at the edge of the top plate of the lap joint should be so controlled that the edge is not melted off. Also, the torch has to be paused when reaching the bottom toe of the weld for a short period so that the undercut, if developed at the toe, is properly filled with filler metal. Clean the bead. Deposit the third run similar to second run. Maintain a uniform travel speed for the torch to get the required bead reinforcement, height and appearance. Clean the welded bead after each run using a carbon steel wire brush. Now we will look at the important points to follow for performing and checking lap joint on MS plate 10 mm thick in flat position by GMAW, Gas Metal Arc Welding. Caution: to avoid edge of the plate melted off defect, reduce the arc voltage by 1 volt and the current by 5 ampere from that used for the root run. Use the anti-spatter spray as and when the torch nozzle gets clogged with weld spatters. Note that if this is not done, the wire feed may be irregular, causing an unstabilized arc, and the CO2 gas flow will not be uniform, causing atmospheric contamination of the weld and porosity. Ensure the edge of the plate A at the toe of the weld is not melted off due to excessive weaving. Ensure there is no undercut at the other toe of the lap weld. Let us see the defects now. Undercut. Excessive reinforcement. Edge plates melted off.
porosity. Uneven bead width. Blowholes.
Let us do a quick recap of what you have learned from this topic. Prepare the plates to size 150 mm length, 50 mm width and 10 mm thickness. Set the plates in lap joints and tack weld. Weld using Gas Metal Arc Welding GMAW process in flat position. Inspect for surface defect and weld and bead appearance. Thank you students, and let us meet in the next session.